Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to the Bud Light channel. Hopefully, bringing light to the darkness of this financial world. All right, got my coffee. We're back at it. And I was talking about after the Marine Corps, I started a side business, a roofing company, while I was in the Marine Corps on terminal leave. And I started noticing that we had to do a lot of repairs on carpentry. So we started doing carpentry, and then that grew into a large construction company. I was a subcontractor for all the residential homes up and down the East Coast, building homes. Now, I was making tons of money, but because of my stupid choices that I made, a lot like Ninja talks about and Chris and Financial Prepper talk about, I was spending more than I was making. And I had the real nice beachfront home. I had the boats. I had the trucks. I had the house. I mean, I was living high on the hog, and I was living in sin, basically, to put it that way. And it all came crashing down, and I pretty much lost everything. Everything got repossessed, and I was down to my last $300, and I was homeless. And I got to experience that world, and it was not pleasant at all. In the midst of this, I met who's my wife now, and she was the light at the end of the tunnel for me, was able to help us out. We moved from the South Carolina because I lost everything and pretty much ruined my reputation with creditors, and that's not a good thing. We moved up into the mountains of North Carolina. We were the furthest living ones back there and lived off the land. I had a great aunt up there who was able to, I worked a deal with her, again, trying to negotiate because I didn't have any money. If I would remodel the house that we were staying in, which was 876 square feet, I could live there rent free. And so we built a huge garden. I lived off the land. I mean, we ate bear, muskrat, snake, deer, whatever came through the yard was usually on the dinner plate. And we had a huge garden. And so I had experience of living off the land and not making any money. I would get a side gig job here and there, but it just wasn't working out. And I was just like, why is it that I can make all this money, but I can't keep any? And I heard a person give the definition of wealth. Another definition of wealth was it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And boy, was that true. And so that was a tough time. And then I had a family member, a sister, who wanted me to come back to Oklahoma because that's where I was from. And she said, we have this church, and we'd like for you to come. And I was like, oh yeah, I hear all this all the time. Well, I came back, and I learned about church. I learned about Jesus, or Yeshua, and I kind of committed myself to God, and that kind of turned everything around. I got a huge contract when I got back, and it covered everything. It 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 was able to take care of all my past debt, and I started making a lot of money again. But for some reason, I just wasn't able to keep it. I was like, what's going on? Then I learned about tithing. I believe that the Ninja put out a very good video on tithing. In fact, my very first video, if you go back into my series, I talk about the secret of tithing and the sacrifice. The secret of the tithing is the sacrifice of the tithe. I kind of explain all that. And I started tithing, and things started turning around. Things were going good. But then I was not educated enough or prepared enough for when the 2008 crash came. And I had a very large engineering construction company. We were building for the colleges and casinos and a lot of commercial work, and had a lot of employees. And I had to close it all down in 2009 and 10 and let everybody go. And then I was kind of back to zero again. It's like, what am I going to do? I was able to get back in attached to the Marine Corps as a contractor with the Department of Defense and went to Afghanistan for several years. And that was able to turn everything around again. And I said, I'm going to start making good choices. And when I got back from there in the 2014 time range, I was able to finally start looking at how does the tithe work? What do I need to do? And here's my secret, guys. My wife was able to help me out a lot while I was overseas, and I learned a lot about the Bible. And I looked at in Deuteronomy 27 and 28, the Lord talks about these two mountains that Moses was up on, and they gave the mountain of curses and the mountain of blessings. And I went and looked at that, and I said, I'm just going to do what it says on this mountain of blessings, because it seemed like I was always on the side where it's mountain of curses. So I just started doing what it said to do. And I got blessed. I was able to keep wealth. I was able to keep more money on my financial side. And I learned that money wasn't everything. My wealth to me was time to be with my family, to be with my community, to help out with my community and go forward from there. And the more I gave away and helped others, the more that I was helped and blessed by the Almighty up above. So that was kind of just a very brief Reader's Digest version of who's talking to you. So I've been there. I may be where a lot of you are at or have been, and I hope a lot of you don't have to be where I was at. And now I do quite well, and wealth, not just in money, but time and family and community and friends. And I want to be able to share that. I want to be able to teach that to other people who are going through some tough times. I can relate. I've been there. So I know what you're going through. And so I can be an encouragement. But at the same time, I can educate and tell you and show you this is what you need to do on your financial side. Or this is what you may need to do on a business side. Now, do I have all the answers? No. I'm just going to tell you what worked for me. And that's all I can do. So I'm going to keep showing these side hustles, demonstrating them of ways you can make some money. And people, I would just say that, you probably ought to look at the Bible one more time. In this crazy world that we're in the end times. There's no doubt about that. And maybe you ought to look at this person called Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus of the Messiah, and consider that it may be a good idea to get to know him and accept him and go forward. And maybe you can get the blessings. Even if you don't get the blessings, at least you might be in the kingdom. So that's all I have to say. That's as deep as I'm going to go on that. I mean, I could get into the weeds and go forever, but we'll keep these videos short. Just want to know this is who you're dealing with, people. So God bless. Have a great day. And Bud Light is out. Oh, I also, if you can, hit that like and subscribe button down there on the bottom. It helps get these videos out. And the other thing is, I found out since I'm Bud Light, Lite, whenever you plug that in to look up in YouTube, you got to scroll 25 over because of all the beer Bud Light videos that are out there till you finally get to my name. So just letting you know that, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.